right. Well, beep, 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 beep. Breaking news right here, because although this is kind of old news where we are able to take masks off inside, as of this recording, only 2 or 3 days old now, we are now possibly going to be able to take our masks off in public transportation, which was the main reason why a lot of Koreans and other people living in Korea were not taking their masks off when they were outdoors or in other buildings, because it's just on, off, on, off, on, off when you're getting on to public transportation. It was annoying. So now with that possibly being taken away in the near future, will we see more people with their masks off walking around like we see in many other European and Western countries? However, there are some people who may not want to remove the mask still because of things like you were saying, beauty standards, right? Being able to go to work with limited or no makeup for women, being able to hide your face and not have to be embarrassed about other people looking at you for whatever reason that they have. These are all reasons why people might want to wear a mask even still. It was a little bit funny because in the US, there was so much backlash on mask wearing. It was almost hard to understand why there was such a big reaction to it. And in Korea, there was such an acceptance, and it seems like a reluctance to stop.
Yeah.
So it's interesting on that one too.
Well, yeah, I think, growing up in Europe, I only ever associated masks with dentists and hospitals.
Yeah.
That was just the only place I ever saw it. But when I came to Korea, all the K-pop idols, if they ever get paparazzi'd in the street, they've got the big glasses, the mask, the hat. But again, even American celebrities, they'll do the glasses and the hat, but you didn't used to see the mask. But again, it was just in the culture, I felt, in Asia, in a way that it just wasn't in the culture in the West.
And of course, pollution, like we talked about. There's all these reasons to wear masks. And I agree with Korean celebrities. I may not have pictures taken of me, but who knows if this goes viral someday.
Yes. It's John from the English teaching videos.
Yes. You can always approach me and say hi.
If you can recognize him under the mask.
If you can recognize me under the mask. What do you think are some of the pros and cons of mask wearing, especially in Korea?
Well, I had to admit that I only caught corona once during the pandemic, despite going to work almost every day and using the subway daily. And I didn't catch a cold during that time either. So I really think, again, based on my totally anecdotal evidence, that it helps protect you from passing germs around. Obviously, I was doing a lot more hand washing and cleaning and stuff as well.
And more importantly, other people were doing hand washing.
And everybody was, so that's an obvious pro. Also, I think, it is wise to protect yourself from the fine dust. In the seasons when the air pollution is high, it's beneficial.
I do want to hear your opinion, though.
On the cons, I think...
I was going to go about Americans.
About Americans.
Yeah, I mean, we all know the cons of wearing the mask. You're talking about makeup, right?
I don't like the fact it rubs my makeup off. That really annoys me. And I don't like the feeling on my face as well. I just find it restrictive. It's like a very mild claustrophobia, I would describe it as. It didn't stop me wearing the mask. I had to do it. I did it, but... I don't find
you were
feel
not happy about
comfortable.
it.
I wasn't excited.
Like again.
I think again, it's the shape of my face. It's this massive nose. If you had a massive nose, you might feel more uncomfortable too.
Although I feel like my nose is a little less prominent than you. What my problem is it would hurt on my nose, and because of that, it would hurt on my ears.
Yeah, it's poor.
And I would just start getting headaches from it too, if the mask was too tight. Now, as a British person, you're an expert on America because you started us.
Oh yeah, and we just love to nitpick you guys as well.
Yeah. Why do you think Americans were so upset about this mask wearing policy?
I've been reflecting on this with my book discussion students because we are reading Brave New World right now, which is a pretty famous story about this sort of totalitarian dystopia where everyone is brainwashed and controlled. And I think a lot of people have read books like that. They've read 1984. We've watched the rise and fall of fascism and communism, and we've developed a fear of government oppression and government rules and forcing us to do things that we don't even really understand or know much about. So I think it's now we've read that book, a lot of my students are starting to understand and be like, oh, now I get it. You know, I think in the West we just are a little bit more suspicious of government control, rightly or wrongly. I'm not saying we shouldn't wear masks, but I think it just makes people in general a bit more suspicious.
Yeah, unless the government rule is in your favor, then you're not suspicious at all.
If you happen to agree with it and you think, yeah, masks are a great idea, this really is going to protect me and my family, you'll be like, yeah, great. But if you've got a bit of doubt,
it gets
the government are just making up these rules to try and control us. You know.
And where does it end? The snowball effect.
I wasn't Jewish, so I didn't stand up for the Jews. You know.
Oh, because you're,
It's World War II thing, you know, how did Hitler come to power? You know, because too many people sat back and just let him do what he wanted and make all the rules he wanted.
And a lot of people agreed with him.
Yes.
Well, anyways, that's a different article, although it was kind of, Nazis were mentioned in there here. Let's go ahead and look at this vocabulary, which is maybe hard to come by in your everyday life, but now easy to come by right down there where you can study it, learn it, and apply it, because a lot of them are good for using in everyday life. And we'll see you in the next article. Bye.
Designated.
Designated.
Horde.
Horde.
Rome.
Rome.
Rooted in.
Rooted in.
Fixture.
Fixture.